Good morning, good people. Early afternoon. Let me tag my BYD Dwayne. Good to see y'all this morning. So my wife and I, you should have been ready. You were never ready. You ever notice I keep telling Sharon to be ready on these videos? She don't be ready. And it's all right. One day she'll learn. I'm going to keep calling her out till she get it. I'm Phil Jackson. That's what he do to his players. He calls them out. Anywho, today we want to talk about money matters. I don't have my paper in front of me, but I do know my purpose. My purpose is to inspire and to create a response in people who really are trying to get married and who are married. We want them to stay married and not get a divorce. So the reason we started these series, and we're going to continue these series, is because one of our friends actually ended up getting a divorce. And once they got divorced, it just, kind of shook our world up. Because we know that it's possible for, stuff to happen, but we just didn't believe that it would happen to them ever. They were somebody that we looked up to, and they ended up getting a divorce, and it was really devastating. So today we want to talk about money matters. Money is the number one reason why people get divorced. You can go get your pillow, because you're Uber low. My baby got to go get her pillow all the time. So anyway, come on, everybody know you 4'10" and a half. I'm not giving you 4'11". You feel me? Alrighty then. Oh, bring that thing right over here, bro. Anyway, so money is the number one reason why people get a divorce. And so we kind of wanted to come and address money. Now, Sharon and I are not millionaires, but we are on our way to becoming a millionaire. Millionaires, multi-millionaires. It's guaranteed. It's already written in the plan, which we will discuss. And B, we are comfortable in our living space. We have enough money to where if neither one of us worked, we have enough money to keep us until the next time we get an opportunity. And with our intellect and our job skills and our degrees and things like that, we can get a job, especially in where I live in Columbus. So it's a lot easier to get a job here than my old town. So what are some of the things that we're going to discuss today, babe?
Well, we're going to discuss how to obtain money.
How to actually get it.
Yes. And how to be disciplined to keep the money.
Right. So now I guess how to get money is different for everybody, right? But I don't like when I read stuff and they only give me motivation. What is motivation going to do for my pockets? You feel me? Motivation is going to do nothing for my pockets. In fact, I need more than motivation. I need some actual money. How do I get money?
Right.
So we're going to talk about that. And some of the stuff I'm going to say, if you say to yourself, I'm not doing that, I can guess your bank balance within a couple $100 every time.
Right.
Because some of the principles that we're going to lay out is how you get money. And what is money, really? Money is an idea. Money is a thought. Money is you acting on that thought. And money is, it becoming, material to you. But, a lot of times money is not the biggest issue if you have an idea. Because if you get to the right person, okay? So we're going to, as it relates to getting money, we got to talk about discipline. Discipline, when I was younger, meant that my mom would take out a belt and get to wailing. But now that I'm older, I realize that it means that I have the power within myself to make myself do the necessary things. Right. So if I want to be, financially free, I have to study people. That's a good word. I have to study people who have been financially free. I have to figure out, what are you doing that I'm not doing? Because if we both got the same 24 hours in a day, the only difference between me and you is the excuses that I accept in my life, my lack of discipline. Right. So a very simple step that I've started to take was I had to, because wherever your heart is, that's where your treasure will be, or wherever your emotions are, that's where your money is. So I had to get my emotions together. Once I got my emotions together, then I could get my thoughts together. Once I got my thoughts together, then I can take action on those thoughts. But it all starts with my ability to discipline my emotions. Right. So for me, here's a step that I'm going to give you, a real step. I had to start fasting. How does fasting relate to money? Well, we've already discussed that money is an idea, right? But I can't get to the idea stage if I do not have my emotions together. So I have to start at a base. And my base for me was getting my emotions together, having the discipline to say, you know what, I'm going to put my plate down. I'm going to pick up water only. I don't know if you ever tried that, but I do water only for however long it takes until I can feel myself again. Like, food is a drug and it takes you away from who you are because, like my baby always alludes to, what does it do for us? It gives us kind of like a comfort. When we were smaller, what did we do?
Right. Eat.
We ate. We went to restaurants. You know what I mean?
Expensive, extravagant restaurants.
Tell them how one of the things that when we first got married, what was some of the problems that we was having with money?
One of them is we ate out a lot. Like Olive Garden. We went to Olive Garden maybe twice a day.
A lot.
Yeah, a lot of eating out. We don't really have problems with shopping, like clothes shopping. That's not ours, but maybe yours is.
Retail shop.
But maybe yours is retail shop. Everyone's is different, or maybe you like to smoke. You know what I mean? Like
that's me. That's it. Do.
Those cigars are expensive.
Cigars
or if you like to smoke weed, I mean,
$30 a piece.
That's expensive too.
It
so,
can be.
but yeah, everyone's is different. Even cigarettes, like people don't think about that. Cigarettes are expensive.
And times 30.
I don't smoke, but I have some people I know that smoke, and I went to go get them a pack of cigarettes. I was like, oh my goodness.
This is my daily wage.
These are 2 meals and some gas. I was like, I could stretch this like make 3 different things.
Right.
But anyways, not to harp on people who smoke. But what I'm trying to say is take whatever your struggle is, whatever you're spending.
Took me to eat. Hi, Sam. Good to see you, bro.
Wherever you're spending the most money at, it's different for everyone. And, just kind of redo that, rebudget that.
Right.
It's not that you can't do it, but set a budget for it so that you're not spending all your money on that one area.
Right. When we had a literal problem, we literally almost couldn't stop. It was like, oh, Olive Garden. We was in the car before it was out our mouth. Like, we was already in the whip.
Right.
We was ready to go get all that salad.
And we'd be waiting. Like, we'll wait like an hour. We were like, okay, it's an hour wait, no problem.
First of all, it was messing my body up, number one. You know what I mean? Because I like that tour to Italy.
Tour to Italy.
Yeah, tour to Italy. And then number two, not only was it messing my body up, but it was messing my pocket up. So I'm going to go back to a word that I know is probably hard for a lot of folk to digest. Discipline. I had to discipline myself. Right. For me, I had to fast. Now, when I was fasting, just think about it. Like, think how fasting works. When I was fasting, that means that I can't go to Olive Garden. Or if I go to Olive Garden, it means that I can only have water. Who does that?
Right.
So it literally put money in my pocket. Fasting literally put money in my pocket in that instance.
Right.
It literally put it in my pocket. Mm-hmm. Not only that, but I told you it's messing my body up. So what fasting does is it works like recovery. It helps your body to recover. You know what I mean? So David strenuously eats. Like I eat, my stress away. And so my body has to recover. But if you eat apples and bananas. You know what I mean? If you keep eating, you need some recovery time. Brittany says, I can't blame you. Those stuffed mushrooms are a blessing. Yes, they are, Britt. Yeah, so that's what we had to do. We had to start disciplining ourselves. Once I discipline my emotions, fasting is to discipline your emotions. By emotions, it can be interchanged with spirit. Hi, BC. Mm-hmm. It can be interchanged with your spirit. Right. So if I'm fasting, my emotions are together. My spirit is together. Then I can start, making room for ideas.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just like in your relationship. If you guys are arguing all the time, every day, just think of it. Now we don't have any time to be making love. You feel me? Or just to come up with a new idea so we don't have to live in this apartment no more. The apartment is making us argue, but we don't want to be here. And we arguing about being here. And that's keeping us from coming up with ideas. Mm-hmm. So then I have to put the whole house on the fast. Nobody eating chips. Nobody watching TV. Now I realize everybody can't do water, and I think that would be torture if I made somebody do that. So I'm not gonna make people, do what I do. But everybody. I put my son on the fast. There is no sugar in this house. I don't do it to Naomi yet because she cry all the time. But just as the leader of my home. Oh, we are going to do this. Oh, but Daddy making this fast. You will. Now, when you get your own house, you can do whatever you want. But then I'm going to say, you're welcome. Because what I gave you was something that you would never be thirsty again.
So once you got your idea, You got discipline over your money.
Yes.
Then next is to...
Well, you got to take action. You got to take action. If you have an idea, you got to take action on it. That's harder than fasting. Because fasting, you know what I mean, you could do that. It doesn't cost any money for the most part. You know, you can get water for 88 cents for, you know, you can get a gallon of water a day. That, for most people, that'll cut their budget down right there. If you just fasted for 30 days or for 10 days, that'll cut your budget down.
You have some money to fund your dream.
So now you have to take action. Yeah. And taking action is the hardest part, because you're like, where do I start? One book could save you 5 years.
That's what I was
One book. We have the internet now. Get on Google.
That's what I was going to say.
Somebody's already accomplished what you trying. Read.
I was going to say.
Watch a video.
I was going to say, find a mentor. Everyone's mentor is different, but find a mentor that you admire. Mine was Robert Kiyosaki.
I like Kiyosaki.
So I listened to everything that Robert Kiyosaki said. Every word. And I learned it to the point where I could repeat it back.
Verbatim.
And I read all his books, and I used to put on his videos or CDs. I don't want to say that. CDs in my car before I would go to work. So I would listen to that every morning before going to work. Right. It actually motivated me to go to work, because I was gonna keep it real. I did not want to go to work. I hated my
motivation.
job, but I had to work until I got to the point where I didn't have to. So I put on something that's motivating. Put that on until you get to that point where you don't have to do that no more.
Right.
And then also it started making me think. Like, the way he talks makes me think. You know what I mean?
His rhythm.
He's really radical. Like, he makes moves. Like, he don't just, like, overthink stuff. People like, action. Let's do it. Like, that's the nice thing I like about him. And he don't care what no one thinks about him. So I was at the point where I was the opposite of him. That's why I picked him as my mentor. Right. I would overthink stuff a lot. And it would take me forever to make a move. Like, I would talk myself out of making the move. Right. So I listened to him to gain his wisdom, to gain what he had that I didn't have. Right. And so now I'm able to make moves a little bit more, and I'm not doing that as much. So what's next? So
you like Kiyosaki, and I think Kiyosaki does give you some very basic stuff that you can actually do. Right. He gives you stuff that you can actually do. Like, so I like, that. But I like Jim Rohn, Jimrohn. Jim is, for me, he's the type of guy where, he's more into like the philosophical approach. He doesn't necessarily give you what you can do, but he gives you the enthusiasm to make you get up and say, you know what, I can do this. I can do it. Like, I can do my marriage. I can love my wife. I can love my children. Right. It doesn't matter what genre you're going to. That man is powerful. Even long after his death, his words will live. Right. So that we're trying to push ourselves into that vein and do our work. We always want to parenthetically insert the purpose, what we're doing. So our purpose, of course, is to, inspire and encourage people to get and or stay married, and to dispel any notions or any fears that somebody who is on a precipice of getting married or on the cusp of getting a divorce. We want to dispel any fears and hopefully help to motivate you to rethink the situation. And we also understand that there are outliers. There are some people that you have no business marrying. And then there are some people that you have no business staying married to. If a person is hitting on you, I'm talking about really hitting on you, leave them. I go to the bye-bye time all the time. I'm going to the bye-bye. You know what I mean? And get the proper authorities involved. So, you know what I mean? There's certain people you shouldn't be married to. I don't care what the Bible say. Bye-bye, I love everybody. You ain't going to be black in my eye, embarrassing me. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure, because the Bible is a word that proceeds. It progresses. So even John, in the book of John, in the last chapter, he says, we can't write down everything Jesus did, because everything he did, if he did that, we would fill up every book. So that means what? That number one, the entire story is not being told. And then number two, that it's continuing to be told. And so if somebody's hitting on you, you must don't know about me. I can get another you in a minute. Matter of fact, she'll be here in a minute, baby. Yeah, you feel what I'm saying? So we today's word is that money matters. We want to talk about money because money is the number one catalytic agent of divorce
right.
in America.
Right.
So let me make sure, because people, you know, money is serious. Money is serious. I tell people, I'm tell my employees at Lucas Lawns, money is serious.
Right.
It's serious. People, I know where I'm from Youngstown, people have lost their lives over $5. Because it's not the money, it's the principle. So if I can get you to see that money is not the problem, but the problem is principle in that statement, then what is the principle? And the principle is discipline. The ability to make yourself do the necessary things and take the necessary action so you can get up off your shoulders and get this money. Get to this money. Make your house happy.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
I can get you to see that, you know, this happened, and that's just a negative act that I talked about. You know, people have lost their lives for nothing. For, you know, $5, but it wasn't the money, it was the principle. So the principle we talking about today is discipline.
Right.
The ability to make yourself. Even if you're in debt, if you start applying discipline to, you know, your area of weakness, like I do, the discipline that I take, you know, as far as not cheating on my wife. Sharon and I are perfect in the area of infidelity. So we have never committed that against each other. But we are not perfect in marriage, but we are strong in marriage. Mm-hmm. So we've decided to come and help you. And so I feel like I'm taking up too much of the time.
No, you do a good job.
But that's what it is. So for me, I take the necessary precautions. And I'm not going to talk ratchet this morning, but at night it get ratchet. I talk like how I want to talk. But in the morning, I'm not going to do that because I realize I have a different level of viewer. People who are more typically, you know, mentally astute in certain areas and certain vernaculars. So I'm not going to talk like that. But, you know, I take necessary precautions. And so it's a principle of the thing. You know what I mean? I might not respond to a young lady's message for me. And it's nothing to do with her liking me or me liking her. But it's just a principle. Like, right. I'm going to let my wife do that because it's just a principle. I think the scripture says, shun the very appearance of evil. It's just the principle of it. Like, I'm not going to do that. So we've gotten, while we've been doing this broadcast, we've gotten probably like at least 100 inboxes. And all the girls, I don't respond to. I let my wife do that. You feel me? And the men, I'll respond to. That's just, it's just the principle of it. I don't want her responding to a man because I feel like he might can get in. And it is possible. You know what I mean? Not that she's, you know, so I'm not saying anything negative, but it's possible for you to succumb to whatever, you know, whatever vile of the enemy. Like, he is a trickster. The only person who ain't been tricked in this world has been Jesus. He's the only person who ain't been tricked. Everybody else, he's been lining them up and crossing them out. You know what I mean? Special guest. Say money matters, dada. Why you twine?
Want some more chips.
Yes.
That's what matters.
Yeah. That's all. So, I mean, no, regardless of the situation that you're in, you can come out with discipline.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And if you haven't been pushing up no daisies or you still living, you can come out with discipline. No matter how strenuous it is. We talked about discipline, and specifically what I do for discipline is I fast. I will quickly do, 10 days water only. 2 days, water only. 1 day, water only. From 12 midnight to 12 noon, water only. It doesn't matter what happens. It just means I need to collect my emotions. Because I always say this, and I'm going to say it until it becomes an imprint on your mind, or until it becomes a cliche. I have to get my emotions together. Once I get my emotions, I can get my thoughts together. Once I get my thoughts together, I can, start taking action on those thoughts. Once I start taking action on those thoughts, it starts monetizing itself. Brittany says, money matters because I need more toys that die. I need toys. I need time.
She's an eater. She likes to eat.
Woo, this baby right here, she want to go to Olive Garden right now. Like, that might be old.
So once you have discipline, then a good thing that we did was we started to put our money up.
Right.
So depending on where you're at,
right,
you decide how much you want to put up.
Right.
And you pay yourself first.
You have to. We have to do that.
That's what Robert Kiyosaki said. He said, pay yourself first. Like, we've been trained, I got to pay my bills.
Yeah.
I got to do this. I got to do that. You know what I mean? He said, pay yourself first. So
now don't let it get cut off, baby.
Well, that's why you decide. You sit down with your spouse, or if it's just you sit down and you decide what percentage I could put up for myself. And then you take that out your check first, and then whatever you have left, right, you pay your bills off of that.
We do this.
We know how to do that. We know how to rearrange.
We do this. I'm not paying my tithes before I pay myself. I'm a church boy, and I'm not doing that. You feel me? I'm going to pay me first. And what I have, I'm going to give, to the church if I can. You know what I mean? So that just to let you know, because I want to put myself in a position where I can actually give to you. I can give a wing to you. You know what I mean? Like, oh, y'all need a wing? No problem. Y'all need a child center? No problem. Y'all need uniforms? No problem. Me giving you $17 every Sunday probably ain't going to be helping us. Like, you know what I mean? It just ain't. And I'm not talking about any leadership and what they get paid or nothing, but I'm going to help myself so that I can actually help you. And that's a principle. I had to learn, like, I was 315 pounds on the day that Naomi was born, and that was November 10th of last year. 315 pounds. I weigh less than 230 now. What did I do to do that? I had to put everything on the side. I was working out on Sundays. I was skipping church. And if you know me, you know that's not what David do. I was skipping church to work out because I realized I have to move everything so I can take care of me. So now when I come back, I can actually help you. When I come back, I'm actually helpful. I'm resourceful. I can actually help you. Right. I'm not telling you to do that, but I'm telling you have to do your work. You have to have the discipline to do your work. It all starts for me with fasting. Fasting, so that I can clear my emotions. So then, once my emotions are clear,
and you didn't leave God. You still worship Him.
No, I'm talking about the church.
Right. We still worship Him. We still worship Him. Mm-hmm. We still love God. I just want to make sure that was clear.
Yeah, and it is clear. If you listen to me, you listen to me, you can feel the God of me.
Right.
You can hear me. You can listen to me, and I hope that there is no ambiguity at all. Because no, I wouldn't leave Jesus ever. Never, ever, 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 ever. And whatever you say do, I'm going to try to do the best I can to all my ability. But I'm saying I had to reprioritize and shift my priorities so that I can make myself whole again, so that when I come back, I can come back with full force. And you can feel my offering now. Now you can feel it. Now you feel like, oh, the Lucas is back. Because you can feel it. You feel me? So I always want to, parenthetically insert the purpose of this video. The purpose of these videos is to help people get or stay married. We realize that money, of course, is the number one reason why people get divorced. So in the mornings, we like to talk about more practical stuff. So today we talked about discipline. A lot of times when you see people and their money is scattered, it's because their emotions are scattered. And I know for a fact that wherever your heart is, that's where your money is. Right. So you have to get your feelings together first. And how I do it, the quickest way to do it is with fasting. It's not the only way to do it, because you can read and you can join groups and you can do a plethora of things. You can pray. There's, and plenty of stuff you can do. But the quickest way for me to get my emotions together is through fasting. And I always say, once you get your emotions, you get your mind. Once you get your mind, you can start putting those thoughts into action. And once those thoughts materialize, that's when your bank account becomes increasingly larger and larger and larger and larger and larger. Sharon and I are not millionaires, so we're not talking like that. We don't want you to feel like we are millionaires. But we're in a better position than a lot of the people in our demographic are. So I realize that a higher echelon won't even listen to me. So who will listen to me? Hopefully I can, plant the seed in your life, and then when it comes up, it will, gain you a great harvest. So we are going to end this video because, it's right about that time to do so. But before we do, let them know about your blog.
So I have a blog. It's on family and health. I have financial issues on there as well. I try to write about a little bit of everything that would deal with family. It is www.sharonlucas.com. Please subscribe. Leave your information so that we can be able to contact you guys. We're going to have some future events coming up, and we want to make sure that you guys know about it. Also, leave comments below. We love to hear your thoughts. We love to hear issues, different topics that you want us to discuss. Yeah. It's just
when we get ratchet, it'd be 1 billion comments in here. I understand.
Yep.
So we do love you. We appreciate you. And until next time, we love you. Turn the notifications on so you can always get my posts. God bless you.
And share the video too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.